Okay, what else? It was interesting that you mentioned about the heresies of modalism and Arianism. And on Arianism, you said that it would be problematic to say that there was a time when the Son did not exist. Well, don't you know that Tertullian actually said that, Reverend Samuel? That Tertullian, who's actually the first one to write in Latin using the word Trinity, Trinitas, who many people appeal to claim that he was one of the early Trinitarians of Christianity, he explicitly denies that the Son is eternal. He says there's a time when the Son did not exist. Therefore, he couldn't be a Trinitarian. I just thought that that was interesting to note.
I'll begin with Tertullian and the fathers. You said that Tertullian did not believe that the Son was eternal. You know that that's not completely true. You know that's not completely true. He definitely believes that the Logos is eternal. Is that the case? Does he believe the Logos is eternal in God?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted actually there. What he believes is that there's only one eternal divine person. Only the Father is the only divine eternal person, and the Son actually around the moment of creation begins to exist. There is no eternal Son, and therefore there is no eternal Father.
Yes, but the Son comes from the Logos, and he does have the Logos as eternal. So it's not simply just that there's just the Father. It's the Father and the Logos as well, isn't there?
Yeah, but the Logos does not function as a person in the way that you and Trinitarians believe. I mean, I could ask a question about that, but the point of the fact of the matter is that the Logos is something like an attribute of God eternally. Yes, no problem with that. But then somehow, which doesn't really make any sense to me, that attribute becomes personal or becomes a person at the moment of creation. And that is not Orthodox Trinitarianism.
No, I agree with that. But all I'm saying is that he does have the eternal Logos.
Yeah, but so does my conception of God. That doesn't mean that I believe in the Trinity.
Yeah, no, but it's just to say that it's there's a step in there that I want people to see, that there is a step, that he's not saying that there's no Logos at all. He's saying that there is a Logos, and then the Logos becomes the Son.
Yeah, I mean, this is sometimes called in the academic literature two-stage Logos theory, where the Logos or the Word of God exists within God as some sort of attribute, and then for different authors, but for Tertullian is at the moment of creation, the Logos then begins existing outside of God or outside of the Father, and somehow that attribute becomes a person or becomes personal. That's what he believes, and I'm simply saying that the doctrine of the Trinity as Orthodox teach today is that there's three eternal divine persons, and Tertullian doesn't believe in three eternal divine persons.
No, he believes in the eternal Logos, not the divine persons. I agree with that. Now, regarding the fathers, I mean, I've just spent a lot of time reading them, and yes, they may not be as accurate in the way that they describe it, but I don't see that as a problem. I see that as just they've got the scriptures and they're working it out